Hi guys, I'm Eileen. So Chanel has just increased their prices again, and the increase for the year 2020 is quite shocking. So the classic mini flaps in the square shape have gone up by 25%, while other classic pieces see an increase of about 15 to 20%. But for some reason, the boy flaps have only gone up by about 5%. Seeing this happen right in the middle of the pandemic, there's speculation saying Chanel did this because of their reduced revenue. As we speak, you still can't buy Chanel handbags, shoes or ready-to-wear online, so there's no doubt this would have affected their sale quite a bit. Now, I've received some questions asking if I still think their classic handbag collections are worth buying. Personally, I've decided 2 price increases ago that their classic double flaps are now too expensive for what they are. First of all Chanel handbags are machine made, so their pieces, including the classic collections, are mass produced. In the past, their hardware used to be gold plated, but since 2008, this was no longer the case. So technically, the quality has gone down, but the prices just keep increasing exponentially. So it can be hard for customers like me and you to justify the steep inflation. Now, I want to clarify that not all luxury handbags are handmade or have gold-plated hardware, but usually this will be reflected on the price tag. Whereas with Chanel, their price range is now not far off from Hermes, so it's not surprising we will expect more from their handbags. This is my small Chanel classic double flap. I bought this in 2012 at £2,500, and right now the very same bag costs about £5,000, brand new from the Chanel store. I still think it's a lovely bag, but I don't think I love it enough to want to get it at its current price. So it's quite possible I'll only look at the pre-loved market if I ever want to add another classic flap to my handbag collection. Now, of course, with inflation, it always goes both ways. So if you already have a Chanel handbag, which you are thinking to sell, the price increase will work in your favor. And really, even if you decide to bite the bullet and buy one brand new from the store, the constant price increases will help to keep the value of your Chanel handbag. Personally though, I buy luxury handbags for my personal enjoyment, not so much for investment, so I will not buy a handbag today just so I can sell it for a profit later. But I guess if you're gonna buy a handbag anyway, then it's nice to know that your Chanel pieces will always keep their values. There's speculation saying Chanel wants to create a sense of exclusivity to their handbags, especially their classic collections. It's a bit like the Hermes Birkin and Kelly, because at least in the luxury handbag world, when something is less attainable, it can seem more appealing. Now, if this is Chanel's strategy, I feel like it's actually working because I'm one of those customers who is now quite happy to walk away from their classic collections. But for those people who are really into their designs and heritage, the price increase might not deter them from buying more. So I think eventually, only the very loyal Chanel customers will make it to the end. For me, Chanel can be a hit or a miss. I've bought 6 Chanel handbags before, and I've sold 4 of them, so I only have 2 pieces in my collection now. So this is the Chanel small classic double flap, and this is the mini flap. And to be honest, I don't use my classic flap all that much, so I feel like I would not be missing out much even if I stop shopping at Chanel today. Personally, I've not come across any major quality issues with Chanel pieces. Although I have to say, certain collections are not as well made as their classic collections. So for example, their wallet on chains and certain seasonal handbags just don't feel as substantial, and I feel like they are not made with the same level of attention. Whereas with Hermes, everything is just made with a very consistent level of craftsmanship, so it doesn't matter if you're getting a wallet, a card holder or a handbag from any price range. The quality is just very predictable and consistent. But I don't feel like that's the case with Chanel. In fact, I bought a flat bag in 2017 and that handbag had the silhouette of a Chanel classic double flap. It was in a dark beige color with chevron patterns. I remember watching a YouTube video about this handbag and the host was saying this bag was a poor representation of the Chanel classic double flap. And I agree with her because looking back, this handbag really didn't feel like a Chanel piece, if you get what I mean. And with the wallet on chain, I had one before and to this day I still can't say it's worth the money. First of all, the inside of the wallet is made of fabric. Secondly, the zipper is actually a YKK zipper. I mean, Chanel should at least take the effort to make the Chanel zippers for their wallet on chains. So essentially, while I've not come across any major problems with their quality, I can't say all their handbags are worth the money. In the last few years, the only handbag that caught my attention is the Chanel vanity case. I think that handbag is very unique, beautiful and well made. So I'm not implying that all seasonal handbags from Chanel are not worth buying, but I do think there's certainly some quality discrepancy between different collections. Some people ask me if they should start shopping at Hermes instead, seeing Chanel is not that much cheaper anymore. In fact, the price of a Chanel jumbo flap is now quite comparable to the Hermes Birkin 25. Now personally, I would choose the Birkin any day, but I'm not sure if it's actually a fair comparison because with the Hermes Birkin and Kelly, you do need a purchase history to get a bag offer. So in effect, if you enjoy many things from Hermes and you subsequently get a bag offer, then yes, I would suggest to go for the Birkin. But if you are forcing yourself to buy things from Hermes just to get a handbag, then I don't think it's a much better deal compared to just getting a Chanel jumbo flap from the Chanel store. Having said that, there are still many beautiful handbags you can get from Hermes without a purchase history. I've actually done a video about this before, so make sure to find the link down below. But essentially, if you're just comparing bag-to-bag quality, I think generally Hermes really stands out in the leather handbag department. If you've been considering getting a Chanel classic double flap, but you're now in two minds because of the price increase, I want to share with you some of the really good alternatives that might be better value for your money. First of all, I think you should absolutely consider the Lady Dior bag. I think the Lady Dior is massively underrated in the luxury handbag world, but it's such a classic piece and I think it's really versatile as well. I always think this bag looks lovely with a dress for formal occasions and it looks great with casual outfits as well. There are now many sizes for the Lady Dior. I believe the mini ones are quite popular at the moment, but I think the medium size is truly a timeless piece and should be the perfect alternative for a classic double flap in either the jumbo or the medium size. I bought this bag before my classic flap because it was £500 cheaper and I enjoy this bag so much more. Currently, the Lady Dior is about £2,000 cheaper than a medium-sized Chanel classic double flap, but I promise you the quality is not in any way less than Chanel. So I highly recommend you looking into this bag. I will also suggest the Louis Vuitton Capucines BB if you're considering the Chanel jumbo flap. I think it's a fair comparison because both bags have very similar space on the inside. Some of you know I've been interested in the Capucines BB forever, so I might be a bit biased, but it's truly a stunning bag. The Capucines belong to the more premium collection of Louis Vuitton, so they do cost more compared to the monogram canvas handbags. I've seen this bag in person myself and it's so beautifully crafted. Now Louis Vuitton actually increased their prices not long before Chanel, but the Capucines BB is still £2,000 cheaper than a Chanel jumbo flap. In my opinion, the Louis Vuitton Capucines BB is equally beautiful and a much better value handbag. Another handbag you can consider is the Moynat Gabriel bag. Moynat is a French brand and they have a long history of making travel trunks and I've heard really good reviews about their quality. The Moynat Gabrielle really reminds me of the Hermes Kelly Sallier, which I really adore. The design looks very classic and simple, and it just feels like a very low-key luxury. I'm especially interested in the size mini. I've watched the review video by Mel from Mel and Melbourne, and she said the size mini is between Hermes Kelly Mini and the Kelly 25. So I think it's an excellent choice if you're considering the Chanel Classic Double Flap in the size small. So those are my honest thoughts about the price increase by Chanel in 2020. For me, Chanel is really losing its appeal, so I don't see myself buying too much from them, although I still really like their small leather goods. I would love to hear what's your opinion on this. Has the price increase completely put you off, or will you keep buying from Chanel? And if so, what's your wishlist item? So please let me know down below. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Have a nice day.